I can still hear the soft click of the door closing behind me. Quiet, deliberate, and final. No one looked up. HR sat across from me with a folder and a line they'd clearly practiced 100 times. It's nothing personal, but betrayal always is. That company wasn't just my job. It was my creation. I'd written its foundation line by line, trading sleep for code, doubt for devotion. I was the one who turned their dreams into data that actually worked. And at the center of it all was Evan Carter, the CEO, the visionary, the man I once called friend. He discovered me in a cramped university lab, surrounded by empty coffee cups and half-finished prototypes. "We'll change everything," he'd said, his hand outstretched. I shook it. I believed him. 4 or 5 years, we built something the world had never seen. A predictive analytics engine that outpaced anything in the market. Competitors couldn't keep up. Investors lined up. Then came the merger. A $600 million deal that was supposed to seal our legacy. That's when things began to shift. I noticed meetings happening without me. Documents missing my name. My code, my work, quietly reclassified as corporate property. It started small, a missing signature, an overlooked credit. But it grew until silence replaced acknowledgement. I knew what was coming before they summoned me to HR. When the words finally came, "Your services are no longer required," I almost laughed, because they were already too late. 2 months earlier, I'd noticed something. The legal team's sloppy habit of defaulting company names on patent filings. So one late night, I stayed behind. I corrected a few errors, updated the ownership details, and refiled the central patent, the one the entire merger depended on, under my private LLC. My name, my rights. Then I waited. They locked me out. I said nothing. They escorted me to the elevator. I smiled. Silence can be sharper than anger when you know what's coming. The morning of the merger, I stood quietly at the back of the hotel ballroom, watching the celebration unfold. Glasses clinked. Cameras flashed. Evan looked untouchable, until the head of legal froze mid-sentence, flipping through documents with growing panic. "Mr. Carter," she said carefully, "there's an issue with the patent ownership." His confident grin faltered. "What issue?" "The filings list an individual as the owner, not the company." "Who?" She read my name. The room went still. Evan's face drained of color. He looked around until his eyes locked on mine. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. The buyer's lawyers were already closing their folders, muttering about liability and breach of representation. The deal unraveled before everyone's eyes. $600 million dissolving into nothing. Evan stumbled forward, rage and disbelief colliding. "You can't do this," he hissed. "I already did," I replied. "You shouldn't have signed me out of my own work." Security moved between us, but it didn't matter. The law had already chosen its side. Ownership is paperwork, and mine was flawless. As I walked out, the first shout erupted behind me, not from Evan, but from one of the lawyers realizing what the collapse meant. No merger, no payout, no golden exit, just ruin. Outside, the morning air bit cold against my skin. I didn't feel triumph, not exactly. What I felt was something cleaner, balance restored. Justice doesn't scream, it whispers. And sometimes silence speaks louder than vengeance ever could. They fired me a week before the $600 million merger. And that single decision cost them everything.